I believe existence has no meaning, and I believe life has meaning. The problem with this is that life is a subset of existence. Existence cosmically was first, and life came from it and cosmically is within existence. How can that be? How can the container that is existence hold something that goes against its own logic? And this is where the title of this essay comes in. Because within my beliefs, the transition point where meaning starts is the only place where God could exist. But I don't believe in a God, so what else could be going on? Apophenia is a bias to perceive meaningful patterns within random data. Following my beliefs about existence, life would come about from randomness and lack of meaning. Finding God at this transition point would be apophenia, perceiving meaning within the randomness. And it's not an unfair conclusion to come to. Such a cosmic shift from literally no meaning to meaning is quite godly. But it's not what I theorize, what I believe. I call the theory I have on where meaning comes from the confirmation bias of life and meaning. Confirmation bias is the tendency to search for, interpret, favor, and recall information in a way that confirms one's beliefs or hypotheses while giving disproportionately less attention to information that contradicts it. Life ends up having confirmation bias because if life can come into existence randomly and fall out of existence randomly, as per my beliefs about existence, the only life that could search for, interpret, favor, and recall would be life that randomly had the desire to continue. And here's a good place to differentiate first life from current life. An organic cell that has no desire and can randomly come apart as it randomly came together has all the physical attributes of life, but it is not what we refer to as life. Most, if not all life that we see is life that has desire, a desire to continue on. And I differentiate those different forms of life as first life and current life. First life accounts for all of the random cells that came together and didn't try to stay together. Current life accounts for all of the cells that had that desire and perpetuated themselves. And now we can come back to how this is all confirmation bias. Every first life blew away at the whims of chance, and every current life continued and multiplied exponentially within its system. This means that not only is there proportionately way more current life as the only actual actor, the only thing with desire, is the only thing that can look back. And maybe in that sense, it's not a bias. It's not a story where two sides fought and the winning side was the only one that can now talk. It's a story where one side ceased to be as if it never was. Life and meaning can only be perceived and thought about from those with life and meaning. Now, the confirmation bias of life and meaning probably doesn't feel grand enough for many people. And to that, I have two things to share. One, the confirmation bias of life and meaning isn't just some simple switch that was flipped. Each step in evolution is factors faster than the last. And this step I'm describing, this step towards desire, would be the first step. A slow, trudging step, factors longer than any other. The confirmation bias of life and meaning is not a switch that was flipped, but a primordial battle against the harsh, unjudging, random setting that is existence. 2, I think the logic of the confirmation bias of life and meaning makes sense. We see it all the time, where the foundation that something came from becomes the thing's tool to use at beck and call. Humans who are nurtured by the earth can change it to nuclear dust. All life can make the atoms that it's made from do as it pleases. I'm swinging atoms around with my fingers as I write this and as I speak this. You're swinging atoms around as you read this and as you hear this. The part has not eaten the whole. The part has become greater. Just randomness is not something to scoff at. It's something to acknowledge. But the randomness of life, of evolution, of meaning, that's something to marvel.